Yo, Joe gang, what's poppin'? What's poppin'? So my guys, welcome to the channel, y'all. Now, real quick, y'all, this video is me showing you guys the March to October, all the cutscenes, etc. This video did take a bitch to make. It took a long time to make, but I'm doing this for you guys too. Also, guys, I'm dropping daily videos of MLB The Show 19 and 2K19. Those two videos, those are the two games I'm focused on right now at the moment. Oh yeah, guys, also remember to like the video up, man. That's the least you guys can do for me. It's free, and you know what I'm saying, helps promote the video. So yeah, that's just do me that one favor, guys. So yeah, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Turn post notifications on too. That's really important. So you know when I'm dropping a video, you know what I'm saying, or entertainment video, any kind of video, man. Stay active with the channel. We're part of the gang. We're coming up, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going crazy, but enjoy the video, guys. I will have timestamp for every team in the comments below, and enjoy it, guys. Feel free, watch it.
Life is good in Beantown. If the Red Sox proved one thing in 2018, it was that from beginning to end, they were the best team in baseball. Boston exploded out of the gates, opening the season 17-2. Their dominance continued through the postseason. The Red Sox win 11-3 en route to their fourth World Series title since 2004. The highest scoring offense in the majors has all key pieces back and ready to roll. This is a team that embraces expectations, and that's a good thing, because all eyes will be on the Red Sox as they begin pursuit of a second straight world title. Red Sox 2005 World Series win feels almost as distant a memory as the 1917 championship that preceded it. The Sox have gone 10 years without a trip to the postseason and have not finished better than fourth in the AL Central since 2012. But there is strong belief that the 100-loss season of 2018 will be the bottom. Chicago has added depth to both the lineup and pitching staff and has some exciting prospects nearing big league readiness. While doubters may feel the White Sox are a couple of years away from serious contention, 2019 may mark the beginning of the Southsiders' ascent back up the AL Central standing. Straight NL West titles, 4 trips to the NLCS, back-to-back World Series appearances. Only one thing remains to be done, and no one knows that better than the Dodgers themselves. If anything, LA's recent run has made the pain of a 30-year championship drought even more acute. The Dodgers had the senior circuit's best offense and pitching in 2018. Needless to say, great things are expected once again. While there's pressure to win now, LA is well positioned for big things into the foreseeable future. And if they can get over the hump, it could open the floodgates for a truly memorable run of excellence. Are here again in Milwaukee. The Brewers finished 2018 with a flourish, breaking out of a wild card logjam to win the NL Central and coming within one game of a spot in the World Series. While it took near perfection down the stretch for Milwaukee to claim the division, this team is no fluke. MVP Christian Yelich leads a roster that is more than the sum of its parts. Have no doubt, Milwaukee will be pushed by its two biggest rivals, the Cubs and Cardinals. But now that the Brewers have tasted success, Craig Counsell's crew shows no signs of letting up. You'll forgive the Pirates for feeling a bit forgotten in the NL Central. They missed the postseason in 2018 and didn't make any flashy roster moves over the offseason. Though they didn't garner a lot of headlines, Pittsburgh should not be overlooked. They were in contention for a wild card spot well into August, and the acquisition of Chris Archer gives them a true ace around which to build the rotation. It's been 26 years since the Pirates won a division title, and while there is a good chance that will stretch to 27, the front office has put together the pieces to be a surprise contender come the fall. The Rangers figure to be a team in transition in 2019. It's been 8 years since Texas made back-to-back trips to the World Series. However, Texas is opening a new stadium in 2020 and wants to give fans a reason to fill it. Joey Gallo has back-to-back 40-homer seasons, and if he can settle into one position, he is a bat to build around. Newcomer Lance Lynn gives the staff a veteran presence. True contention is probably a year away, but goal number one is to see a marked improvement from last year's win total and pave the way for even more success in the years to come. Whatever happens in 2019 with the Mets, it sure won't be boring. Despite starting 11-1 a year ago, New York ended with 77 wins, a fourth-place finish, and was widely assumed to be off-season sellers. Instead, the Mets added 5 former All-Stars to their roster, and in the process, addressed some of their biggest holes from a year ago, while staking their claim as division contenders. The NL East figures to be a bear, but if the Mets jump out of the gates as quickly as they did a year ago, they may not come back to the pack, leaving Atlanta, Miami, Philadelphia, and Washington all playing catch-up.
Oh. Hey, look, now that I've got your attention, peep game.
It's true that the San Diego Padres have not had a winning season since 2010. And yet, as the 2019 season dawns, there is renewed optimism in America's finest city. The signing of Manny Machado gives the Padres a star to anchor the roster. And with one of the best farm systems in baseball, San Diego is gearing up to be a beast for years to come. To be sure, a return to the 500 mark in 2019 would be a definite sign of progress. But if Manny and company can grab some early momentum, well, who knows? Despite playing in a division that featured 3 90-win teams a year ago, the Toronto Blue Jays are feeling good about the future. The Jays were beset by injuries up and down the roster in 2018. And despite a strong April, were never really able to find a consistent lineup or rotation. Now 3 years removed from back-to-back trips to the ALCS, Toronto has laid the groundwork for a new generation of stars to take center stage. If they can stay healthy, the Blue Jays believe they can make some serious noise in 2019 and beyond. For the first time in franchise history, the Rockies have made consecutive postseason appearances. The next step is clear: win the team's first division title. Last year, Colorado was tied with LA after 162 games before falling in a one-game playoff for the NL West crown. In a twist, pitching looks to be a strength for the Rockies, as the rotation should once again be among the best in the NL. At the plate, Nolan Arenado anchors an always potent lineup. Colorado should have the balance to beat trouble both at home and on the road. The Rockies have increased their win total in each of the last 4 years, and if they can make it 5, a division title may just be a stepping stone to even bigger things ahead. An embarrassment of riches. How else to describe a Houston team that has lost 3 starting pitchers from last year, but is still the team to beat in the AL West and on the short list of World Series favorites? The Astros took control of the division with a 12-game win streak in June, en route to a team record 103 wins. The lineup, which was already stacked, may be even better in 2019 after adding All-Star Michael Brantley. The Astros are in the midst of the most successful run in franchise history, and after last year's ALCS defeat, they have their sights firmly set on adding a second World Series title to their mantle. For the better part of the last decade, the Angels have felt like a team stuck in neutral. After making 6 postseason trips between 2002 and 2009, including a World Series win in 2002, the Halos have been just once in 9 years. With a roster that features the game's best player in Mike Trout and perhaps its most interesting player in two-way phenom Shohei Ohtani, the Angels have to sense a window of opportunity. While it will be a tall order to overtake Houston and Oakland, the Angels are ready to make a move and turn the AL West into a 3-team race for the top. Have been here before. A decade ago, they started a rebuilding process that culminated in a 2015 World Series title. As the 2019 season opens, Kansas City hopes to accelerate that timeline this time around. While Cleveland is the clear favorite in the AL Central, the race is wide open behind them. With external pressures and expectations low, the Royals, anchored by all-star catcher Salvador Perez, are hoping the positive momentum of a strong finish to close the 2018 season can spur a move back up the standings in 2019. There is a buzz in the Queen City. On the heels of 4 straight 90-loss seasons, the Reds didn't figure to rate much mention in the discussion of the senior circuit's top contenders. But since he made loud, bold moves during the offseason, and suddenly, the rotation looks solid, and the lineup is built to bash in hitter-friendly Great American Ballpark. It's been 6 years since Joey Votto and company have played meaningful baseball in September. While the NL Central dogfight was already crowded, there may be one more in the race for the division title. Oh, to be a Cubs fan in 2019. After 3 consecutive trips to the NLCS, including a 2016 World Series win that ended a 108-year championship drought, it's a privilege to feel disappointed at only making the wild card round in 2018. As 2019 dawns, perspective is the word of the day. This is a team that finished second in ERA, 4th in runs scored, and won 95 games. The Cubs should be on any short list of championship contenders, and if anything, should enter the new year with motivation to prove that last year's sluggish finish was nothing more than a blip for a team that has the talent to bring another World Series back to Wrigleyville. Detroit was an early season surprise a year ago, until an 11-game losing streak started a summer-long struggle that left the Tigers with a second straight 98-loss season. As Ron Gardenhire enters his second season at the helm, his main goal is progress. Progress from standouts like Joe Jimenez and Nicholas Castellanos. Progress from up-and-comers like Kristen Stewart, who will see plenty of playing time in 2019. Ultimately, Gardenhire is hoping that his young club can see tangible progress where it matters most, in the win column. The Phillies were the feel-good story of 2018. So much so that even a late-season fade couldn't dampen the enthusiasm of the team or its notoriously boisterous fans. On the heels of that success, a good offseason that included the acquisition of 4 former All-Stars became a great one with the signing of Bryce Harper to a long-term deal. Now, the Phillies and their fans harbor realistic hopes of rising to the top of a fiercely competitive division. With all of the pieces seemingly falling into place, can Philly seize the moment and turn those hopes into reality? For the Baltimore Orioles, the 2019 season can't start soon enough. The O's struggled from the get-go last year and never recovered. Now, they start the tall task of rebuilding in one of the deepest divisions in baseball. Still, this is a proud franchise that has won 3 World Series titles and is just 5 years removed from the ALCS. With a new GM, a new manager, and one of the youngest rosters in the majors, there will be plenty of opportunities for those youngsters to prove their worth as 2019 starts a new chapter in Orioles history. The A's had been trending upward, but there is no denying their 2018 season was remarkable. 97 wins, a 22-game improvement from 2017, and a trip to the AL wildcard playoff were beyond any reasonable expectations. And for the first time in a few years, Oakland enters a new season with more answers than questions. A stable of young stars led by homegrown prospects Matt Olson and Matt Chapman provides a solid nucleus around which the A's can build for the long term. Just as important, this is also a team that has shown it is ready to win now. November 1st, the Giants were on the fringes of wildcard contention. But by the end of the month, a 5-21 finish left the team wondering what had happened to their season. In the long run, that swoon may have been the best thing that could have happened. In 2019, the Giants are hoping to get younger, healthier, and better. The memory of 3 World Series titles in the last decade is still fresh in the minds of a rabid fan base. Changes in the air on the west side of the bay. And while San Francisco is not projected to be serious contenders this year, this is not an organization that figures to stay down for long. First glance, the Mariners' roster overhaul following their 89-win season may seem surprising. But Seattle is playing the long game, giving their young players a chance to grow and mature, and creating a foundation for extended success. The signing of Yusei Kikuchi is further proof that this is not a rebuild, but a necessary refocus, and the Mariners can still be competitive while building for the future. It's been 17 years since Seattle's last postseason berth, a record-setting 116-win season in 2001. And while it's unlikely the Mariners will be serious contenders this year, this is a team to watch for the near future and beyond. The Marlins have made the postseason just twice in 26 years, but both times they raised the World Series trophy as surprise champions. In recent years, some of the game's best young stars have called Miami home, but as 2019 dawns, all eyes are on the future. A new ownership group has placed a focus on building a foundation of top international talent. Developing and nurturing those potential stars is the order of the day. Though the Marlins' best days are likely a few years down the road, 2019 is a first step in the march back to competing in the division. The Diamondbacks are proof of just how quickly things can change. Diamondbacks fans are still trying to forget how things fell apart in the latter half of the 2018 season. As if that didn't hurt enough, the face of the franchise was traded during the offseason. Yes, it's a new day in the desert, but don't expect Arizona to go down without a fight. While no one player is going to replace Paul Goldschmidt's presence on and off the field, the return to form of players like Jake Lamb, along with fewer health issues, could just make the D-backs one of 2019's pleasant surprises. Perhaps the most surprising thing about the Braves' 2018 NL East title was the way they won it. Atlanta never spent a day below 500 and steadily pulled away from the pack, using 2 6-game winning streaks in September to put the division on ice. Exciting young stars like Ozzie Albies and Ronald Acuna Jr. burst onto the national scene and have Braves fans fired up. That said, Atlanta won't sneak up on anyone in 2019. In a division where all 5 teams have made significant strides in the offseason, will this young squad adjust from being the hunter to the hunted? A baseball-hungry city like St. Louis, a 3-year postseason drought feels like an eternity. Even more frustrating, each year the Redbirds were in postseason contention into the season's final week before falling short. If there were any doubts about the Cardinals' expectations for 2019, their acquisition of Paul Goldschmidt made things crystal clear. Goldschmidt is the superstar they needed to anchor an otherwise balanced lineup and gives the Cardinals and their fans the hope that 2019 is the year they reclaim their place among the game's best. The 2018 Rays may have been the most under-the-radar 90-win team in baseball history. Known more for the innovative handling of its pitching staff, Tampa was in postseason contention deep into September. While some may find it easy to overlook them in a Yankees-Red Sox scrum, the Rays made big moves in the offseason, bolstering a pitching staff that was already among the game's best. Indeed, Tampa has sent a clear signal that it considers itself a true contender in 2019, and they are ready to join the American League elites. The Indians have to be wondering when their time will come. While the Red Sox, White Sox, and Cubs have all snapped long title droughts since 2004, 2018 marked 70 years since Cleveland's last World Series win. And since 1995, the Tribe has made 11 postseason appearances, including a pair of gut-wrenching Game 7 losses in the Fall Classic. The Indians will have a new look to their lineup in 2019, but manager Terry Francona has proven to be one of the game's best when it comes to roster management. Cleveland is still the clear favorite in the AL Central, but a strong start will be key for a team that has its sights set on much more than a division title. The Twins aren't just turning the page in 2019, they're hoping to write a whole new book. The franchise faces some intriguing questions as it opens a new chapter in its history. Can Byron Buxton and Miguel Sano both bounce back after a disappointing 2018? Can Eddie Rosario and Jose Barrios continue their development? Will Nelson Cruz and others fill the void left by Mauer? The Twins and their fans are hoping the right answers to these storylines have them back on the right side of 500 and making another postseason push come September. The majority of fans will tell you 2018 was a disappointment for the Nationals. Expected to win the NL East in a landslide, Washington struggled out of the gate and could not turn it around for the second half. Even though the Nationals begin a new stage of the franchise's history, expectations and optimism should still be high in the nation's capital. The Nats may have the game's best rotation 1 through 4, and the lineup may actually be more balanced and multidimensional. While Washington is not the clear-cut favorite it was a year ago, this is a team that expects to be playing in October, and they just may be right. 27 World Series titles, 39 AL pennants, 24 Hall of Famers. As one of the most iconic franchises in MLB history, yearly expectations begin and end for the Yankees with adding a 28th title to their mantle. In 2018, the Bronx Bombers' pursuit of an AL East title was derailed when the rival Red Sox swept a 4-game series in early August. An ALDS loss to the Red Sox only added salt to the wounds. To be sure, this is a team that won 100 games last year, and the Yankees are loaded with superstars up and down the roster. Is 2019 the year the Yankees reestablish themselves as the AL Alpha Dog? The chase begins now.
Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the video, man. Remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Like I said, this video did take a bitch to make, but remember to spam the like button for the kid. New videos dropping tomorrow, and I'm going to be streaming too. MLB The Show. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to wrap it up quick. Remember, if you guys did enjoy the video, remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and peace, y'all. JoJo's out.